Today we're going to continue section 11.2, and we need to switch over and talk about series. So these notes are just continuing on from where I left off last time. Let's start by talking about what a series is and how it's different than a sequence. Series is simply when the terms of a sequence, are added together or are added. So now it's not just having a bunch of pieces, a bunch of terms. We are going to take those terms and add them together, and it will create what's called a series. A series, if a sequence goes on forever and ever and ever, it's an infinite sequence, we could never find the sum of it. So what we end up finding is what's called a partial sum. We can't find the whole piece, so we just find, or the whole sequence, so we just find the sum of the pieces we want. We'll write that as the sum of the first, I don't know how many terms you want, so we're going to say the first n terms. Just like we used a sub 1 and a sub 2 and a sub n, we're going to have a notation for this. This is s sub n. That means the sum of the first n terms. Okay, there are two formulas that we can use. The first one is called the general formula. That one is s sub n is equal to n, and then in parentheses is a sub 1 plus a sub n over 2. And then the alternate formula, would be s sub n is equal to n over 2, and then there's 2 a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That one is nowhere near as nice as the first one. Let's talk about what we should have here. So in order to use these formulas, we need to have some things. We have a sub 1 and a sub n. We will use the general formula. And to be honest, you can use that a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d formula to find these things if you need to. This other formula is good when you have a sub 1 and d. But if I have those pieces, I can use the other formula to get back to that simpler one. So let's try an example. I actually have 5 total examples I want to try to do in this video, so it might get a little bit long, but that's just kind of the way it is. Maybe I'll skip one of them. The first one says find the sum of 12 plus 19 plus 26 plus plus 180. So there's a whole bunch of missing numbers in there. I guess just looking at this, I can see that it's going to add 7. So there's 33, and then there's 40, and 47, and 54, and I could keep going and get all the way to 180 and then add them together. That just would be a waste of my time, though. What I'd rather do is look at this formula, the general formula. It's where I have a sub 1 and a sub n. If you look at my series here, I have a sub 1 and I have n. Hopefully you know what I'm looking at. The first term is a sub 1. A sub n, sometimes I have referred to as the last term, or the term I don't know. I don't know which number 180 is. Is that the 50th number? I'm not sure. It's a sub n right now. So I have the two things I need. So I should be able to use this formula. The formula said s sub n is equal to n. I don't know how many terms there are. Let me leave that blank for now. And then there's going to be parentheses, but it is a sub 1, that'd be 12, plus a sub n, that's 180, over 2. And all I guess I need to know is that n, and I'll be able to work this out. I mean, I even know right now this is going to be S sub n equals 192 over 2. Right? 192 over 2 is 96. And if I just know how many terms there are, I'm going to be able to get this answer, and it will be S sub n equals something. Okay, so what can I do to find n? How about I do this formula? A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. And let's ask ourselves if we know all the pieces we need. A sub 1 I do, that's 12. Plus, and here's my parentheses, I don't know n, that's what I'm trying to find. D, the difference between them, the common difference, I already said that earlier, that was adding 7 every time. And then a sub n. Well, that's that last term that I'm talking about. I don't know what numbered term that is. So how about we just put the 180 in for a sub n? And now when I solve this, I should have my n. So you did this in the last homework. So 180 equals 12 plus. Here's the spot I saw some people struggling with. That's distributive property. 7 times n is 7n. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Okay, so what is this going to be? 180 equals 7n plus 5. I'll subtract my 5. That's 175 equals 7n. I'll divide by 7. And apparently that turns out to be 25 is equal to n. All that work, and I didn't really even, that wasn't the answer to the problem. I needed that so that I could go back here and just plug it in. So there was a 25 in front for n, and a 25, and a 25, and now all we have to do is 25 times 96, which turns out to be 2,400. And that is the sum of, well, I guess it's the first 25 terms. Right? Our n was 25, and it was 12 plus 19 plus 26 plus a whole bunch of other terms plus 180, and when you added them all up, you get 2,400. Okay, I'm going to skip the next example, and if you want to go back and rewind this one and watch that again, it was the same idea. So let's go to the next example. This one says, find the sum. And I'm going to give you, this one says n equals 16, a sub n equals 240, d equals 8. Now, in the last problem, we didn't have this n equals 16. We had to find it. So in this problem, there's something else missing. Hopefully you figured out that's the a sub 1. When I go to try to do this formula, this s sub n equals n and then a sub 1 plus a sub n over 2. I've got the n, I have the a sub n, I just don't have the a sub 1. So if I start filling this in, s sub n equals, I know it's 16. I'll leave a little blank there for the a sub 1. I'll go find that in a minute. I know there's a 2 on the bottom and a 240 here. So let's go find our a sub 1. Pull in that other formula you already know. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. See, they gave you d for a reason. You can plug that in. 240. Don't know a sub 1. It told me n is 16 minus 1 and d is 8. So that's 240 equals a sub 1 plus 15 times 8. Oh, that's 240 equals a sub 1, and that number is 120, so plus 120. If we subtract 120 now, it turns out that a sub 1 is 120. Go back, plug it in. If I drop that 120 in right over here, I can now work this out. S sub n equals 16 times, what's that, 360? And then we can divide that by 2, which would be 180. And then take 16 times 180, I don't know, Calculator says it's 2,880. So apparently what this problem is saying, just so you have an idea of it, is I'm going to start with the number 120. I'm going to add 8 to it over and over and over again until I get it to 240. That would take me 16 terms. That's the number of terms. And if I take all 16 of those terms and add them together, I will get the answer of 2,880. All right, next problem. How are we time-wise? This is 10 minutes long. All right, let's try another one, and then I'm going to end this video, hopefully. This time it says find the first 3 terms. Find the first 3 terms of the arithmetic sequence. Oh, the arithmetic series. Given a sub 1 equals 7, a sub n equals 79, and s sub n equals 430. Okay, I have to find the first 3 terms, and they already gave me the first one. It's 7. I just have to figure out what they did to get to 79. I have to figure out how many times, how many terms did that take to get there. And when they add all those together, apparently it was 430. So start with something you know. I see that s sub n, so I'm going to write down the formula for it. That's n and a sub 1 plus a sub n over 2. And I'm just going to see if I know things here. I know s sub n. I know a sub 1. I know a sub n. I got that too. The only thing I don't have there is n. That'll tell me the number of terms. So that's one of those things I said I didn't know. So let's plug it in. S sub n is 430. I don't know n. A sub 1 plus a sub n, that's going to be 7 plus 79 over 2. So 430 equals, well, 79 plus 7 is 86. Divided by 2 is going to be 43. So that'll be 43n. We divide by 43. Turns out to be 10 equals n. Okay, I don't know if I needed that. I guess that doesn't help me find the first 3 terms. It just tells me that they added up 10 different terms, starting with 7, ending with 79. So I'm done with that formula, and I'm not sure what else I can do then. So I guess I can pull in the other formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. If you haven't caught on to what we need to do is just keep writing this formula. We know a sub n, it's 79. We know a sub 1, it's 7. I just found the n, so it's 10 minus 1. And now I can find d, and if you think about it, when I find d, I will know what to add to get to the next term, which means if I start at 7, I'll be able to get to the next 2. So let's see what that is. 79 equals 7 plus 9d. Right? 10 minus 1 is 9. Subtract your 7, and you get 72 is equal to 9d. I can divide by 9. 72 divided by 9 is 8 equals d. Again, not what I was looking for. But now that I know d, it's a common difference, and I know that this thing starts with the number 7, I can then add 8 and get 15. I can add 8 and get 23. And I now know the first 3 terms in that series. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. 14 minutes long is too much anyway, and we'll see how we go from here.